Hey, pumpkins. Hello, my babies. Hello, my honeys. Hello, my ragtime gals. How's it going? Welcome back to Reaper Reads. And happy to see you. Well, happy you can see me. Let's see. What happened last week? Today. Let's talk about today first. Let's not go running into the past. Today, we're continuing our read of Stephen King's The Body. Yay. Last week, what happened last week? Oh, yeah, we got a chance to hear a short story from Gordy. He is an interesting little lad, and he wrote a very interesting story. It was, about Chico, and you got to see how it related to him and his life, and the way he dealt with his own brother's death, and interesting shit. And then also we got to, kind of see the boys off on their trip, and today we get to see what that trip consisted of. So I'm very excited for that. It should be today, and then next week we should be wrapping up the story. It's not very long, like I said, like I've been saying, it's a short story, so there's gonna be quite a bit of shit packed into today's reading as well as next week's. But I mean, we've done 2 weeks of exposition, so it's about time we got things rolling. So let's see. Before we get started, I'm just giving anybody, my late I'm always late. So I'm always like, yeah, it starts at 8, and then I'm here at 8:20. But yeah, it's 8:10 right now, so I'm just giving everybody a couple seconds to kind of get in, get comfortable, get your wine, because this is, wind down from your weekend. Did you have a good weekend? Did you have a good week? I had a great week. I'm not going to tell you what I did with that week, but it was a good week. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be reading with my babies. So, while we wait for a few more viewers to pop on, I did just want to touch on this because I forgot to mention it last week as we were reading. The Body is in a collection of other short stories. So, and the whole story, the whole book, I guess, altogether is called Different Seasons. So if you go looking for Stephen King's The Body, you're not gonna find just a hardback or paperback of that book, of The Body. You'll have to pick up Different Seasons, and it is in there. But I thought it was interesting because it was already a collection of Different Seasons, and he decided to toss in, a short story within a short story within a short story, and that was really cool. I mean, I'm not sure if that's what he intended on, as we all know, like, you get the ball rolling with whatever the fuck you're doing, and then somebody's like, hey, let's just take all of these and mash them into one thing. So, and it's actually interesting because I hadn't known that a few years back, prior to reading the story for the first time, because I just found it online. But The Body focuses on summertime. It takes place in the summer. You will hear even in today's reading how he emphasizes summertime a lot, and the heat and whatnot. So it makes me curious about the other short stories in there because I haven't read those ones. I'm like, So are the other ones like emphasizing winter and fall and, spring. So I guess I'll have to have a peep and then have a reap. All right. And I think that is about it on last week's biz. Can't put anything else. Okay. So, hope you are all settled in. And without further ado, here we go. Back to the body. Chapter 10. By the time we got across Beeman's Field and had struggled up the cindery embankment to the great southern and western main tracks, we had all taken our shirts off and tied them around our waists. We were sweating like pigs. At the top of the embankment, we looked down the tracks toward where we'd have to go. I'll never forget that moment, no matter how old I get. I was the only one with a watch, a cheap Timex I'd gotten as a premium for selling Cloverine brand salve the year before. Its hands stood straight up at noon, and the sun beat down on the dry, shadeless vista before us with savage heat. You could feel it working to get in under your skull and fry your brains. Behind us was Castle Rock, spread out on the long hill that was known as Castle View, surrounding its green and shady common. Further down Castle River, you could see the stacks of the woolen mill spewing smoke into the sky the color of gunmetal and spewing waste into the water. The Jolly Furniture Barn was on our left, and straight ahead of us, the railroad tracks, bright and heliographing in the sun. They paralleled the Castle River, which was on our left. To our right was a lot of overgrown scrubland. There's a motorcycle track there today. They have scrambles every Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. An old abandoned water tower stood on the horizon, rusty and somehow scary. We stood there for that one noontime moment, and then Chris said impatiently, "Come on, let's get going." We walked beside the tracks and the cinders, kicking up little puffs of blackish dust at every step. Our socks and sneakers were soon gritty with it. Vern started singing "Roll Me Over in the Clover," but soon quit it, which was a break for our ears. Only Teddy and Chris had brought canteens, and we were all hitting them pretty hard. "We could fill the canteens again at the dump faucet," I said. "My dad told me there was a safe well. It's 190 feet deep." "Okay," Chris said, being the tough platoon leader. "That'll be a good place to take 5 anyway." "What about food?" Teddy asked suddenly. "I bet nobody thought to bring something to eat. I know I didn't." Chris stopped. "Shit, I didn't either. Gordy?" I shook my head, wondering how I could have been so dumb. "Vern?" "Zip," Vern said. "Sorry." "Well, let's see how much money we got," I said. I untied my shirt, spread it on the cinders, and dropped my own 86 cents onto it. The coins glittered feverishly in the sunlight. Chris had a tattered dollar and 2 pennies. Teddy had 2 quarters and 2 nickels. Vern had exactly 7 cents. "237, I said. "Not bad. There's a store at the end of that little road that goes to the dump. Somebody will have to walk down there and get a hamburger and some tonics while the others rest." "Who?" Vern asked. "We'll match for it when we get to the dump. Come on." I slid all the money into my pants pocket and was just tying my shirt around my waist again when Chris hollered, "Train!" I put my hand out on one of the rails to feel it, even though I could already hear it. The rail was thrumming crazily. For a moment, it was like holding the train in my hand. "Paratroops over the side!" Vern bawled, and leaped halfway down the embankment in one crazy clownish stride. Vern was nuts for playing paratroops any place the ground was soft. A gravel pit, a haymow, an embankment like this one. Chris jumped after him. The train was really loud now, probably headed straight up our side of the river toward Lewiston. Instead of jumping, Teddy turned in the direction from which it was coming. His thick glasses glittered in the sun. His long hair flopped untidily over his brow, and sweat and sweat-soaked stringers. That was tongue twister.